Aliens laughed at humans. Until our stealth ship Decloaked, the galaxy had many voices, but the loudest ones often belonged to those who underestimated humanity. From the observation decks of the Drekari fleet, officers laughed as reports came in about the humans. "Primitive," one said, adjusting the fine golden cuff of his uniform. "Their ships are nothing more than floating tin cans. What do they hope to achieve?" The Drekari were one of the most advanced species in the sector, known for their powerful warships, instantaneous communication networks, and near-perfect artificial intelligence. Their arrogance was legendary, their confidence almost contagious. In the control room, screens flickered with the slow, steady approach of several human vessels. The monitors barely registered them, small, seemingly fragile ships moving in predictable patterns. Admiral Tharks leaned back in his chair, a faint smirk on his scaled lips. "Humans in our territory," he said, chuckling. "Send a warning, they must not have realized where they are." "Admiral," one of his aides replied, "we could destroy them with a single salvo. There is no threat." Tharks waved his claw dismissively. "Do it, but make it painless. We will watch for amusement. I want to see how these humans react when faced with true power." Meanwhile, several light-years away, hidden in the silent shadows of a barren asteroid field, a human ship moved with quiet precision. The vessel, sleek and unassuming, seemed almost invisible against the dark void. Captain Alara Rin stood at the command deck, her eyes scanning the holographic display before her. The ship, the Silent Hawk, was small but powerful, built for stealth and speed rather than brute force. "Distance to the mothership?" she asked, her voice calm but firm. Lieutenant Jax tapped at the console. "We are 2,000 kilometers out." "The shields are active, but their sensors are strong. We'll need to stay in the shadows until we get closer." Engineer Mei Lin frowned, running a hand over the energy panel. "Our cloaking field is holding, but any sudden movement could trigger detection. We have to be careful." Alara nodded, appreciating the seriousness of her crew. She had chosen them not only for skill, but for their ability to think and adapt under pressure. Humans had always been underestimated by other species. That underestimation was an advantage she intended to exploit. "Remember," she said, "we are not here to fight. Our mission is intelligence and observation. If we make a mistake, we don't just fail, we risk starting a war. Stay sharp, stay quiet, and trust your training." The crew moved like a well-oiled machine. Jax worked on decrypting incoming signals from the Drekari fleet, quietly decoding patterns in their communication that could reveal patrol routes and censor blind spots. Mei Lin monitored the ship's energy levels, adjusting the flow to maintain optimal cloaking efficiency. Even the ship itself seemed to respond to their focus, its engines humming with barely perceptible vibrations. As the humans drew closer, the Drekari fleet remained unaware. On one monitor, a small blip appeared briefly and vanished. "Probably just a comet," one officer said, yawning. Another officer laughed at the idea that such a fragile vessel could pose any challenge. Alara noticed the blip too, but she did not react outwardly. She had trained her crew to remain calm in moments that could make or break a mission. "Keep your eyes on the readings," she said softly. "Nothing gets past us." Time moved slowly in the void, measured in the subtle changes of energy fields and the distant hum of stars. The humans drifted closer, following the edge of a shadow cast by a massive asteroid. The mothership, an enormous structure of black alloy and shimmering energy barriers, loomed ahead. Its design was alien, elegant, and terrifying in its precision. Alara studied it without awe. This was a target, and she had a job to do. "Captain," Jax said quietly, "I've found a pattern in their patrol routes. There's a small window, 10 minutes, where their internal sensors rotate in a predictable loop. If we move during that time, we should remain undetected." Alara nodded. "Good, that's all we need. May, prepare the energy cells. Jax, ready the navigation override. Everyone else, brace for a smooth approach." As the Silent Hawk edged closer, the alien fleet remained oblivious. The Drekari officers continued to joke and mock, their pride blinding them to the small shadow slipping through their defenses. One officer even suggested deploying a probe to confirm the humans' presence, but Tharks dismissed the idea. "They will never reach the mothership." "Why waste resources?" Alara felt a quiet satisfaction, but she did not allow herself to smile. The danger was very real. A single miscalculation could reveal their presence, and with it, countless lives could be lost. The asteroid field ended, and for a brief moment, the humans were fully exposed to the void around the mothership. The ship's small silhouette contrasted against the massive alien vessel, a single fragile human craft against a sea of alien giants. But the humans had a secret. The Silent Hawk's cloaking technology was unlike anything the Drekari had ever seen. It bent light, energy, and even magnetic signatures around the vessel, making it practically invisible to all sensors. "Steady," Alara whispered. "Move now, slow and precise." The crew executed her commands with flawless coordination. The ship slipped forward, passing between patrol drones and energy barriers without triggering any alerts. Jax kept one hand on the communication console, reading faint patterns in alien chatter. Each blip of activity could have been a warning, but they weren't. The humans were ghosts. Inside the mothership, however, not all was as easy as the Drekari believed. A single curious officer noticed minor fluctuations in the energy field near the edge of their detection range. "Did anyone see that?" she asked, pointing at her screen. "It's probably interference," another officer replied, dismissing her concern. "Or a small meteor. Focus on the humans, they are too weak to matter." The first officer hesitated, sensing that something was off, but the culture of the fleet discouraged questioning authority. She turned back to her station, uncertainty gnawing at her. Alara watched the subtle tension on the monitor, recognizing the tiny mistake. Even the smallest doubt in the alien ranks could be an advantage. The humans continued their slow approach, weaving through energy patterns and shadowed corridors of space, inching ever closer to their target. Minutes stretched like hours. The tension was palpable, but the humans did not falter. They relied on their ingenuity, their courage, and above all, their ability to adapt in situations no alien could predict. Humanity had survived countless challenges on Earth through creativity and quick thinking. Now, that same spirit guided them in the void. "Approaching sensor perimeter," Jax reported. "We'll be fully inside their system in 30 seconds. "Hold steady," Alara said. Her eyes were fixed on the holographic map of the alien fleet. Each pulse, each drone, each patrol path was a thread in a web. One wrong move and the entire mission could unravel. The Silent Hawk drifted closer, a ghost among titans. The humans felt the weight of the galaxy's expectations on their shoulders, yet they moved with calm determination. Alara's mind raced through contingencies, imagining every possible scenario the aliens could throw at them. She knew they had one chance, one moment to succeed before discovery would force a fight they could not win. And yet, she felt a quiet confidence. Humanity had always found a way. Against stronger, faster, and more advanced foes, humans had survived by being clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. This mission was no different. In the observation deck of the mothership, Admiral Tharks laughed again, unaware of how close the humans had come. "They are fools," he said. "Even if they reach this far, they are nothing. Their ships cannot withstand our weapons." Alara ignored the laughter echoing across light years. She had seen the weakness in arrogance before, and she would exploit it. The humans of Earth were underestimated, dismissed, even mocked, but that was their greatest advantage. No one expected humans to succeed, which meant they often did. As the humans crossed the threshold into the alien sensor field, the ship remained undetected. The mission had begun. They were ghosts in enemy space, moving toward a goal that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. The crew worked in silent harmony, each task executed with precision born of trust and skill. "Captain," Maylin said quietly, "all systems stable, cloak holding." "No alerts." "Good," Alara replied. Her voice was calm, but her mind was already planning the next moves. "We move forward, every second counts, and remember, one mistake could be our last." The humans pressed on, a small ship against a vast fleet, their presence invisible but their purpose undeniable. And as the alien fleet continued to mock and laugh, the humans sailed silently toward destiny, ready to show the galaxy that being underestimated was never a weakness. It was a weapon. Somewhere deep within the mothership, a single officer glanced again at the shadows, feeling an unease she could not explain. But for now, the humans remained unseen, and the first step of their audacious plan was complete. The Silent Hawk glided silently through the void, a shadow among shadows. Captain Alara Rin leaned over the navigation console, studying the holographic display. The alien mothership loomed closer with every second, its black hull reflecting distant stars like a dark mirror. Inside, energy pulses moved rhythmically along the ship's outer structure, like veins carrying life to the massive vessel. The humans' mission was no longer about stealth alone. They had to understand the mothership, find its weak points, and gather intelligence that could prevent a war. Lieutenant Jax's fingers danced over his console, decrypting alien signals in real time. "Captain, their internal communication is fast," he said, voice calm. "But I've found gaps in the encryption, short windows where their AI doesn't fully scan for anomalies. We can use them to our advantage." Alara nodded, her gaze fixed on the massive ship ahead. "Good. Mark the gaps, May. Keep the cloak stable. We can't afford even a single blip." Engineer Mei Lin adjusted the energy flow to the cloaking field. "Steady. The shield is holding, but the closer we get, the harder it is to hide. Any sudden energy spike could reveal us." The humans had spent years preparing for this mission. They knew the Drekari were arrogant and assumed humans were weak. That arrogance, they realized, was a weapon. The aliens never considered that a small ship could outthink their massive fleet. "Captain," Jax said quietly, "the first patrol loop is approaching. If we move now, we can slip through the outer sensors undetected." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Do it." The silent hawk adjusted its trajectory, weaving through invisible corridors of energy. Patrol drones glided past, scanning the void in slow, mechanical patterns. The humans held their breath, though their training kept their movements steady. Even the ship seemed aware of the tension, engines humming softly as if in sympathy. Inside the mothership, the Drekari officers continued their mockery. "Do you see it?" one said, pointing to the small blip on a monitor. "It is a human ship, a tiny, weak vessel. It cannot survive in this sector." "Destroy it," another officer replied. "It will amuse me to see how quickly it fails." Admiral Tharks leaned back in his chair, scales glinting under the dim light. "Leave it for now. I want to watch their effort. There is humor in arrogance, but I am curious to see their struggle." Alara and her crew, unseen, moved past the outer defenses. Their hearts beat steadily, but the tension was sharp. Every decision mattered. One miscalculation could mean capture or worse. "Entering internal perimeter," Jax said. "Sensors here are more sensitive. Any wrong move and will be detected." "Slow and steady," Alara reminded them. "Every movement counts. Trust the calculations, trust your instincts." The ship glided into a narrow passage between energy conduits. The Drekari AI monitored the hull for intrusions, but the humans' advanced cloaking technology bent light, energy, and magnetic signals around the ship. It was like a ghost passing through a fortress. "Captain," Mei Lin whispered, "I'm detecting minor fluctuations in their energy field nearby. It's subtle, almost imperceptible. Someone might notice if we aren't careful." "Keep adjusting," Alara said. "Do not panic. They cannot detect what they do not expect." The humans' progress was slow but deliberate. Every decision was calculated. Jax worked to decode the communications coming from the mothership's AI, searching for patterns that would reveal weak points or vulnerable systems. With each pulse of data, he found gaps that no alien expected a human to exploit. Meanwhile, deep inside the alien ship, a junior officer frowned at the monitors. "There's something odd in the outer corridor," she said, pointing at a tiny anomaly. "I can't explain it." Her superior scoffed. "Ignore it. Humans cannot reach this far. Focus on the perimeter." The junior officer hesitated, a cold feeling of unease crawling over her. But in the Drekari fleet, questioning authority was dangerous. She turned back, unsure but silent. Alara and her crew reached the first key system, a communications hub that relayed instructions between the mothership and the fleet. If they could access it, they would learn about patrol patterns, AI routines, and potential weaknesses. "Prepare the interface," Alara ordered. Jax connected the ship's systems to the alien hub through a series of covert energy pulses, bypassing firewalls and encryption that would have taken standard ships months to overcome. The ship hummed as data streamed into their consoles. Schematics, patrol maps, and encrypted communications flowed like a river of information. The humans absorbed it all, their minds working faster than the alien AI had ever anticipated. "This is incredible," Jax murmured, scanning a particularly complex code string. "They have no idea we're here. Every second we spend, we learn more than they will ever expect." "Good," Alara said, "but don't celebrate yet. One mistake and we're dead. Keep focused." As they worked, they noticed something disturbing, a plan that could threaten Earth itself. The Drekari fleet intended to attack a human colony on the edge of explored space. The humans' mission was no longer about simple observation. They had to act to prevent disaster. "Captain," Mei Lin said, voice tense, "if we leave now with this information, we can warn Earth. But if we stay, we could sabotage their systems directly. It's risky, very risky." Alara considered the options. Every scenario had consequences. One choice could save millions, another could risk the lives of her crew. But humans were never known for taking the easy path. "We take the intelligence," she decided. "We will sabotage if opportunity allows, but our priority is getting this information to Earth safely." The crew nodded, understanding the stakes. Every human aboard the Silent Hawk felt the weight of responsibility. They had trained for moments like this, yet the reality was sharper than any simulation. The humans continued to extract data, moving carefully through the ship's interior sensors. Their timing was perfect. The AI, confident in its superiority, never paused to question the invisible shadow navigating its corridors. Inside the mothership, Admiral Tharks finally noticed minor inconsistencies. "There is something unusual," he said, narrowing his eyes. "Check the outer sensors again." The officers ran scans, their confidence faltering slightly. The AI reported nothing significant, and they laughed nervously. "It is nothing," one said. "Humans cannot exist here without detection. Their presence is impossible." But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. Arrogance, once their shield, now became a vulnerability. The humans unseen moved with patience, precision, and intelligence, qualities the aliens had never fully understood. Alara's crew finally reached the edge of the central systems. Data flowed faster now, but the danger increased with each passing second. Any sudden movement, any irregular pulse could alert the mothership's defenses. "Almost there," Jack said, wiping sweat from his brow. "We're just short of full access." "One more link and we have everything." "Careful," Alara warned. "This is where mistakes happen. We finish, then we get out." With precise calculations, Jax bypassed the last firewall. The humans gained full access to the mothership's intelligence network. Schematics, fleet commands, and deployment schedules were theirs. The information confirmed what they feared. The Drekari were planning a direct assault on human colonies. The mission had just become urgent. Mei Lin checked the ship's energy levels. "Cloak is stable, but the longer we stay, the higher the risk. We need to move before they notice anything." Alara nodded. "Agreed. Prepare for extraction. We move on my mark." As the humans retreated, the mothership's AI began to detect anomalies. A minor fluctuation, barely noticeable, triggered a subtle alert. Inside the fleet, officers paused, scanning for threats. "There's a ghost in our systems," one whispered. "Impossible, but it's there." Alara saw the subtle change on her console. "We've been spotted," she said calmly, "but they don't know where. Keep steady, stick to the plan." The humans navigated back through the corridors they had traversed, careful to avoid any detection. Each maneuver was precise, a dance of shadows in a hostile environment. The Silent Hawk reached the edge of the outer sensors. Alara exhaled quietly. They had succeeded in extracting critical intelligence without being fully discovered. The mission was a success, though the danger was far from over. Inside the Drekari fleet, confusion reigned. "Something is here," Admiral Tharks growled, his confidence shaken. "We cannot see it, yet it moves. It knows our systems better than we do." Unseen, the humans moved farther from the mothership, carrying the information that could save countless lives. The crew worked together in silence, their bond forged in the tension of a mission that few other species could have attempted. Alara allowed herself a small smile. Humans had always been underestimated, mocked, and dismissed by the galaxy. Yet here they were, ghosts in enemy space, proving that ingenuity, courage, and adaptability could overcome even the most advanced opponents. The Silent Hawk disappeared into the shadowed reaches of the void, leaving behind a fleet of aliens who would never again see humans as weak. And somewhere in the cold heart of the mothership, a single officer shivered, sensing that the galaxy had just changed, and that humanity was at the center of that change. For Captain Alara Rin and her crew, this was only the beginning. The stars were wide, the dangers were many, but humanity had survived worse. And they would survive this too, because humans, when underestimated, were capable of extraordinary things. The Silent Hawk drifted silently near the mothership's inner defenses. Captain Alara Rin's heart beat steadily, but her mind raced through calculations, contingencies, and possibilities. They had penetrated far deeper than any human ship had before. Every system they touched, every signal they read, brought them closer to understanding the alien fleet's full plan and closer to danger. Lieutenant Jack scrolled through the decrypted data, his eyes scanning rapidly. "Captain, the intel confirms it. They're planning an attack on multiple human colonies," he said. "The fleet will strike within the next standard cycle. We have no time to waste." Alara's jaw tightened. "How many colonies are at risk?" "At least 6 major settlements." "The casualties would be catastrophic," Jax replied. His voice was calm, but the weight of the knowledge was clear. Engineer Mei Lin's fingers hovered over the control panels. "We could try to sabotage their systems," she said cautiously. "Disrupt the fleet from the inside." "But it's dangerous. One mistake and we're trapped." Alara leaned back, weighing the options. Every choice had risks. They could leave with the intelligence and warn Earth, ensuring humanity had a chance to prepare. Or they could take a bold step and try to cripple the fleet now, potentially saving millions but risking their lives in a near-suicidal mission. Humans were known for daring, for ingenuity in the face of impossible odds. Alara felt that spark in her crew. "We do both," she decided finally. "We take the intelligence and set up a sabotage sequence. If it succeeds, we slow the fleet. If it fails, we escape. No hesitation, no second-guessing. Everyone understands." The crew nodded, their expressions serious but resolute. Humans had survived countless dangers through courage, quick thinking, and teamwork. They had to trust themselves now more than ever. The Silent Hawk moved deeper into the mothership. Its small frame slipped through corridors lined with pulsing energy conduits and humming machinery. The Drekari AI monitored every sector, but it had never accounted for a ship capable of bending light, energy, and magnetic fields around itself. The humans were ghosts, yet their minds worked faster than any algorithm the aliens had developed. Jax accessed a central command terminal, linking their ship to the mothership systems. Data flowed like liquid fire across his display. Patrol schedules, power distributions, weapon placements, everything the aliens assumed secure was now at human fingertips. "Captain, I've found a control node for their energy grid," Jax said. "If we trigger it remotely, we can cause a temporary shutdown in their defensive systems. It won't destroy the fleet, but it will create a window for escape or diversion." Alara nodded. "Do it, but keep it subtle. We don't want them to know it was deliberate." The energy grid hummed under Mei Lin's careful manipulation. She adjusted the flow, routing power through safe paths to avoid triggering alarms. The humans' understanding of alien technology was limited, but their creativity allowed them to improvise solutions the aliens never imagined. As the sabotage sequence began, Jax noticed another file, an encrypted log labeled with coordinates. "Captain, these are the target colonies. They have calculated attack patterns and strike timing. It's precise, almost surgical." Alara felt a pang of urgency. "We must get this data to Earth. It's the only way to save millions. Prepare it for transmission, but keep it encrypted. Only human systems can decode it quickly." The ship hummed with quiet energy as the humans worked. Every action required focus, precision, and timing. The mothership's AI was powerful, but it relied on predictable patterns. Humans, by contrast, thrived in unpredictability. They adapted, improvised, and acted when others hesitated. A sudden fluctuation in the energy field alerted Mei Lin. "Captain, something is moving near our location. Drones, I think." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Not yet. Keep calm. Jax, continue extraction. May maintain the cloak." "We cannot afford detection now." Through silent corridors, the humans monitored the approaching drones. They passed like shadows, unaware of the ship that drifted among them. Every moment was tense. The crew's training held them steady, but adrenaline ran beneath their calm. Humans were small, fragile in the eyes of the aliens, but that very fragility allowed them to move where massive warships could not. Inside the mothership, an officer paused as he noticed minor irregularities. "Sensors are showing anomalies," he said nervously. "Something is moving where it shouldn't." Admiral Tharks's tail twitched. "Impossible. Investigate, but do not panic. Humans cannot infiltrate our systems. They are weak, predictable. This is nothing." Alara, unseen, felt the tension in the enemy ranks. Arrogance, she knew, was their weakness. They assumed humans were weak, incapable, and simple. That assumption gave the Silent Hawk room to maneuver and strike where no one expected. The sabotage sequence completed successfully. Minor power fluctuations rippled through the mothership, just enough to disrupt patrol drones and create a small blind spot. The humans moved through it, gathering more intelligence, mapping corridors, and noting vulnerabilities. Each step brought them closer to understanding the full scope of the Drekari attack. As Jax decrypted more files, he uncovered a chilling revelation. Captain, they're planning simultaneous strikes. Their AI has calculated the shortest travel paths for each fleet, coordinating attacks down to the second. Earth defenses would be overwhelmed. Alara clenched her fists. Then we have no time. We take what we can and get out. But we leave a message, a warning, something that can slow them until Earth is ready. Mei Lin smiled faintly, adjusting the cloaking field. Humans always find a way, don't we? Alara allowed herself a brief smile. We do. That's why we're still here, and that's why they don't see us coming. The crew moved to the final terminal, a central node controlling both communications and internal navigation. If they could access it, they could send a covert warning to Earth while also setting subtle traps within the mothership. Humans were not just surviving, they were shaping the battlefield, turning intelligence into a weapon. Jax connected the ship systems to the node. Data streamed in and the humans worked quickly to encode the warning. This will get to Earth, Jax said, but only their central command can decrypt it immediately. It's subtle but urgent. Alara nodded. Good. While it transmits, May, start embedding the traps. Nothing that can destroy the ship outright, but enough to delay or confuse the fleet. The sabotage was delicate work. A single misstep could trigger the mothership's defenses. Mei Lin rerouted energy, diverted signals, and created hidden anomalies in the fleet's sensor network. The humans' understanding of unpredictability gave them an advantage the aliens could never anticipate. Inside the Drekari fleet, confusion began to ripple through the ranks. Patrol drones paused, energy readings fluctuated, and officers grew uneasy. There is interference somewhere in the inner systems, one said. It doesn't make sense. Admiral Tharks's scales bristled. Impossible, humans cannot do this. Check everything, find them, now. But the humans were already moving out. The Silent Hawk retraced its path, gliding silently through the corridors it had mapped. Their cloaking field held, their knowledge gave them confidence, and their teamwork ensured no step was wasted. Almost clear, Alara said. Keep focused. One last obstacle, then we're free. A small patrol drone appeared ahead, its sensors sweeping slowly. Mei Lin adjusted the ship's trajectory, sliding the Silent Hawk along a shadowed conduit. The drone passed harmlessly, unaware of the ghost among them. Jax smiled, eyes on the console. We're through. All data secured, traps embedded, warning transmitted. We can leave at will. Alara exhaled, feeling a quiet satisfaction. Humans had faced impossible odds before, and they had adapted, outsmarted, and survived. The mission was a success, not through brute force, but through intelligence, creativity, and courage. As the Silent Hawk moved toward the outer corridors, the crew allowed themselves a moment to reflect. The aliens had assumed humans were weak, predictable, and incapable. Yet here they were, small but powerful in ways the Drekari could not understand. Humans thrived on adaptability, intuition, and daring, the qualities no AI could fully anticipate. Inside the mothership, Admiral Tharks stared at the monitors, his confidence shaken. There something happened, he growled. Check the internal nodes, find the humans, now. Officers scurried, but the humans were already gone, leaving behind confusion, minor sabotage, and intelligence that could save millions. The aliens had laughed, dismissed, and underestimated humanity. Now the first seeds of doubt had been planted. Alara looked at her crew. We did it, but this is only the beginning. The galaxy is bigger than any of us imagined, and humans will have to be ready for what comes next. Jax leaned back, rubbing his eyes. I never thought we'd make it this far, but humans always find a way, don't we? Alara smiled faintly, feeling a quiet pride. Yes. That's what makes us dangerous. That's what makes us human. As the Silent Hawk drifted into the silent void, carrying the weight of intelligence, subtle sabotage, and hope, the humans had proven once again that being underestimated was not weakness, it was power. The Drekari fleet remained formidable, but it would never view humanity the same way again. The Silent Hawk floated in the silent void beyond the mothership's outer shields. Captain Alara Rin's hands hovered over the controls, eyes scanning the holographic displays. Every pulse of alien energy, every shift in the mothership systems, was tracked and analyzed. The crew had succeeded in extracting critical intelligence and embedding subtle traps, but now they faced the moment that would test human audacity like never before. "Captain," Lieutenant Jack said, scanning the outer patrol maps, "we're clear of the inner drones for now, but if we want to make a real impact, we need a bold move." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Bold, you mean Decloak inside the fleet?" Jax nodded. "Yes. The humans have something the aliens cannot anticipate, unpredictability. We can show them that, but it's risky, very risky." Engineer Mei Lin adjusted the cloaking field, running simulations. "If we decloak here even for a few seconds, their sensors will detect us immediately. But our ship is fast and agile. We could slip through before they react fully." Alara's jaw tightened. "That's the point. They've underestimated us every step of the way. If we can use that arrogance against them, we could change how the galaxy sees humanity. Prepare for the maneuver. Timing and precision are everything." The crew nodded, the tension thick but steady. The Silent Hawk was small, fragile in comparison to the massive Drekari warships, but every human aboard understood that size and firepower were not the only tools of survival. Ingenuity, courage, and unpredictability were their true strengths. "Outer fleet patrols are approaching," Jax reported. "Sensors are sweeping in standard loops. If we move now, we can position ourselves at the perfect point for decloak." Alara glanced at the vast array of alien ships, stretching across the void like a black ocean of steel and energy. "Do it," she said. The Silent Hawk shifted silently, slipping between patrol corridors, its cloaking field bending light, energy, and magnetic signals around the small vessel. Every move was precise, calculated to avoid detection. The alien fleet's AI, confident in its superiority, monitored the space as it always had, predictable, structured, and unaware. "Position set," Mei Lin said. "Cloak ready to disengage on your mark." Alara's hand hovered over the decloak command. The small human ship would soon reveal itself to the fleet, a single, fragile vessel in a sea of alien giants. The psychological impact alone could be enough to disrupt the arrogance of the Drekari. "Here goes nothing," Alara whispered. The ship's systems disengaged the cloaking field. Light, energy, and magnetic signatures flared for a brief moment, and then the Silent Hawk appeared in full view of the Drekari fleet. The reaction was immediate and intense. Alarm sirens echoed across the mothership. Officers shouted, pointing at the single human ship boldly floating among them. "Impossible," one yelled. How did it get here?" Admiral Tharks's eyes widened in disbelief. "They are inside our fleet. This cannot be." His tail lashed across the floor in agitation. "Deploy all scanners. Lock onto that vessel." But the humans were ready. Jax activated a series of automated maneuvers, weaving the Silent Hawk through the massive ships with impossible speed. The humans' understanding of unpredictability gave them a natural advantage. The aliens, for all their advanced AI and firepower, could not anticipate the erratic, creative movements of a human pilot. Mei Lin managed the energy systems, diverting power to the engines in precise bursts. "We can keep this up for only a few minutes," she said. "After that, we'll need to either escape or face their weapons fully." Alara's eyes scanned the fleet, looking for opportunities. "Focus on creating confusion. Activate the traps we set in the mothership. Disrupt their communication loops. Make them think the fleet is compromised." The traps embedded earlier began to take effect. Minor energy fluctuations, false readings, and sensor misfires rippled through the Drekari fleet. Patrols collided, drones spun in confusion, and officers struggled to interpret the anomalies. The fleet's confidence, once unshakable, faltered. Tharks roared orders, but his officers were already overwhelmed. "Scan every sector. Find the intruder. Do not let it escape." The humans, small and agile, moved like shadows among giants. The Silent Hawk twisted, dived, and slid between massive hulls, drawing attention but avoiding attacks. Every movement was calculated, exploiting the aliens' assumptions about human weakness. "Captain, they're coordinating fire," Jax warned. "Some of the outer drones have locked onto us. We need to act fast." Alara nodded, pressing a sequence on the console. A series of pulses emitted from the ship, not enough to damage, but enough to confuse targeting systems temporarily. Drones shifted, some fired harmlessly into the void, and the fleet's formation began to break apart. "Human ingenuity," Mei Lin said quietly, a smile on her face. They never see it coming. Alara allowed herself a small grin. They mocked us, they laughed at humans, and now they see what happens when their arrogance meets reality. The fleet's AI, confident and rigid, could not respond to unpredictable patterns. The humans used that rigidity against them, moving where no alien would expect and creating chaos with minimal effort. The mothership itself was forced to redirect energy to recalibrate sensors, weakening its other defenses. Inside the mothership, officers panicked. The human ship is weaving through our fleet. Impossible, one cried. Another added, it's too agile, too fast, our calculations are failing. Admiral Tharks's expression turned from disbelief to fury. We are not defeated, this is an anomaly, a fluke, deploy everything. But the humans had already set the stage. Using the intelligence and sabotage embedded earlier, they continued their maneuvers, disrupting the fleet's coordination further. Communication loops became unreliable, drones collided or veered off course, and officers were left scrambling for solutions that did not exist. Alara glanced at her crew. We've proven our point. Now we pull back before they recover, prepare the extraction route. We go silent and fast. The Silent Hawk reversed its trajectory, using shadows and anomalies to disappear from the fleet's view. Even as the aliens scrambled, the humans had vanished, leaving chaos and confusion behind. Status? Alara asked. All systems nominal, Mei Lin replied. Cloak re-engaged, we're invisible again, the fleet is in disarray. Jax added, they will remember this for a long time. Humans are no longer just weak, predictable creatures. They're clever, audacious, and dangerous. Alara nodded. Exactly. The galaxy will never underestimate us again. The Silent Hawk drifted into the silent void, carrying the knowledge of the alien plans, subtle sabotage, and the memory of audacity that had shaken the Drekari fleet. The humans had taken impossible odds and turned them into an advantage. They had shown the galaxy that ingenuity, courage, and daring could overcome even the most powerful adversaries. Far inside the mothership, Admiral Tharks paced his command deck. His officers, once confident, were now subdued by confusion and fear. This is unacceptable, he growled. How could a single human ship disrupt our fleet? We must find them, we must understand them. But understanding humans was never easy. They were unpredictable, creative, and relentless. The Silent Hawk had revealed the truth. Humans were not weak. They were a force to be reckoned with. Alara sat back in her chair, feeling a quiet pride. The mission had succeeded beyond intelligence gathering. They had struck a psychological blow, proving that humans could face the strongest fleets and remain unbroken. The audacity of decloaking inside enemy space had changed the perception of humans forever. Captain, Jax said softly, we've done more than survive. We've shown them who we are. Alara smiled faintly. Yes, and we will continue to show the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. The Silent Hawk drifted into the darkness, a small, agile vessel carrying hope, courage, and proof that humanity's greatest weapon was its unpredictability. The Drekari fleet, shaken and confused, would rebuild, but they would never forget the audacity of a single human ship. And somewhere in the void, a single officer aboard the mothership shivered, sensing that the universe had shifted. Humans, fragile yet daring, had become a force that could no longer be ignored. Alara looked at the stars beyond the ship, the weight of responsibility and pride pressing lightly on her shoulders. This was only the beginning. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long, and now the game had changed. The audacity of humanity had made its mark, and the future would be shaped by those who were clever, courageous, and unafraid to defy expectations. The Silent Hawk glided through the black void, its engines whispering softly, almost as if the ship itself breathed a sigh of relief. Captain Alara Rin leaned back in her chair, scanning the stars ahead. The mission was far from over, but the most dangerous part had passed. The humans had infiltrated the alien mothership, gathered intelligence, embedded sabotage, and most audaciously, decloaked inside the enemy fleet. They had struck fear into beings that had once laughed at them. Lieutenant Jax tapped his console, reviewing the intelligence files they had stolen. Captain, the colonies are still in danger, but we've slowed their operations. Some of the sabotage will take effect in hours. It gives Earth time to prepare. Alara allowed herself a quiet nod. That was the goal. We may not stop the attack entirely, but we've given humanity a fighting chance. That's enough for now. Engineer Mei Lin adjusted the energy distribution, making sure the cloaking field held steady. We're in open space now. Their fleet is still tracking anomalies, but they have no idea where we went. We're ghosts again. The humans were silent for a moment, reflecting on the audacity of what they had accomplished. Every system they had touched, every maneuver they had executed, had been guided by ingenuity, quick thinking, and courage. They had faced an enemy vastly superior in technology, strength, and numbers, and they had not only survived, they had dominated the psychological battlefield. "Captain," Jack said after a moment, "reports from the mothership are coming in from secondary systems. The fleet is in disarray. Some ships are firing on each other by mistake. The intelligence we took and the sabotage we embedded are working exactly as planned." Alara's eyes softened. "Good, but we're not done yet. They may recover. We need to ensure our escape path remains secure. May monitor their patrol patterns. Jax, keep decoding incoming signals for anything new." The crew worked in unison, each member performing their task with precision. Humans had always thrived in situations where others relied on rules, patterns, and predictability. The Drekari fleet had counted on predictability, and the humans had turned it against them. Hours passed, measured only by the subtle changes in energy patterns and the occasional blip on the navigation screens. The fleet continued to scramble, trying to understand how a single ship could wreak such havoc. Officers whispered in disbelief, and even Admiral Tharks was forced to acknowledge the humans' cunning. "They are clever," Tharks growled, pacing in his command chamber. "No single human should have been able to do this. They are small, fragile, but intelligent." "Highly intelligent. Prepare countermeasures. We cannot let them reach our systems again." But the humans were already gone, slipping silently through the void, their cloaking field intact. The silent hawk moved like a shadow among stars, carrying data, hope, and the proof that humanity was more than the galaxy ever expected. Alara reviewed the escape route. "We'll take the long path around the system, avoid major patrol lanes, but keep a steady speed." "We don't need to run, we need to be unpredictable," Jax nodded, plotting the course. "If we maintain this trajectory, we can exit the sector undetected. Even if they recover, they won't know our exact path." The crew worked together seamlessly. Humans had survived and thrived for centuries through adaptation, cooperation, and resourcefulness. In the vacuum of space, facing a technologically superior foe, those qualities were their greatest weapons. "Captain," Mei Lin said, her eyes scanning the energy readings, "I'm detecting minor pursuit. Small patrol drones, nothing major, but they're trying to locate anomalies. Should we engage?" Alara shook her head. "No, we don't fight, not unless necessary. Let them waste energy chasing shadows. Our advantage is subtlety and unpredictability, not brute force." The silent hawk slipped further into the void, moving silently and swiftly. The humans watched the Drekari fleet from a safe distance, their massive ships scattering in disarray, unable to coordinate effectively. The audacity of a single human vessel had shaken the confidence of an entire armada. Jax glanced at the readings. "Captain, the AI on the mothership is recalibrating, but the human-created anomalies are causing delays. They won't reach full operational capacity for hours. Our window to escape is secure." Alara allowed herself a brief smile. "Excellent. Keep monitoring. We leave nothing to chance." The silence of space was broken only by the soft hum of the ship's engines and the occasional click of control panels. Outside, distant stars twinkled as if unaware of the struggle unfolding among them. Inside, humans moved with calm determination, their focus unwavering. After a tense few hours, the humans reached a safe distance from the alien fleet. Alara allowed herself to exhale fully. "Status report," she said. "All systems stable," Mei Lin replied, cloak holding. "No pursuit detected. We're clear." Jax smiled, a faint glimmer of pride in his eyes. "They'll remember this mission. Humans are not the weaklings they assumed. The galaxy has been reminded of our capabilities." Alara looked at her crew, feeling pride and gratitude. "Yes. And they will think twice before underestimating us again." The silent hawk drifted through the stars, carrying the stolen intelligence and the memory of audacity that would ripple across the galaxy. The humans had turned a desperate mission into a demonstration of skill, courage, and creativity. They had faced the impossible and emerged victorious, not through firepower, but through mind, strategy, and daring. Inside the mothership, Admiral Tharks slammed his clawed hand against the console. We were humiliated. A single human ship infiltrated our systems, disrupted our fleet, and left without harm. How is this possible? His officers shuffled nervously. They are unlike any species we have faced, one admitted. They are clever, adaptive, and unpredictable, Tharks growled in frustration. We will find them, we will understand them, but for now we must regroup. Meanwhile, the humans celebrated quietly. Not with noise or revelry, but with the shared satisfaction of accomplishment. They had done the impossible, proven their worth, and left the aliens scrambling. Humanity had been laughed at, underestimated, and mocked, but now the galaxy would take note. Alara looked at the stars ahead, considering the long journey home. We've done well, she said, but this is only the beginning. Humanity must prepare. The galaxy will not forget this day, and neither should we, Jax nodded. They'll talk about it for years. Humans, clever. Daring, unpredictable. Mei Lin adjusted the energy flows one last time. We've given them a reason to respect us, and a reason to fear us if necessary. Alara smiled faintly. Exactly, that's how humanity survives. Not through brute strength alone, but through mind, heart, and courage. We've shown the galaxy that humans are never to be underestimated. The Silent Hawk continued its journey, disappearing into the endless void, carrying the intelligence that would save millions and the proof that humans could stand against even the most advanced adversaries. The aliens had laughed, mocked, and dismissed them, but now the echoes of that laughter were replaced with fear and respect. Somewhere across light years, a single officer aboard the mothership shivered, realizing that the galaxy had changed. Humans, small and fragile, had revealed a power beyond brute force, ingenuity, creativity, and audacity, and the Drekari fleet would never underestimate them again. Alara turned from the viewport, watching her crew with quiet pride. We've survived. We've succeeded. And we've proven that humans can achieve the impossible. Remember this feeling, because the galaxy will challenge us again, and we will be ready. Jax leaned back, exhaling slowly. Humans always find a way, always. Alara smiled. Yes, and that is what makes us dangerous. That is what makes us human. The Silent Hawk disappeared into the void, a small, silent vessel carrying hope, courage, and proof that humanity's greatest weapon was its unpredictability. The galaxy had laughed at humans, dismissed them as weak, and assumed they were harmless. Now the story was different. Across the stars, rumors would spread. Tales of a single human ship infiltrating an alien fleet, extracting intelligence, sabotaging systems, and emerging unscathed. Stories of daring, audacity, and cleverness. Stories that would remind every species that humans were not to be underestimated. Alara's eyes lingered on the stars, the blackness of space reflecting in her mind. Humanity was small, fragile, and underestimated, but that was their advantage. Their creativity, courage, and daring made them unpredictable, unstoppable in ways no alien could calculate. The crew settled into the hum of the ship, quietly reflecting on the mission and the impact it would have. They had faced the impossible and triumphed, not with overwhelming firepower, but with intelligence, coordination, and daring. They had earned respect, fear, even from the galaxy's most advanced fleet. Alara whispered softly, almost to herself, the galaxy will never look at humans the same way again, and that is just the beginning. The Silent Hawk glided onward, carrying the legacy of audacity, the proof of human ingenuity, and the promise that humanity's story was only starting. The universe had laughed at humans once, but it would never do so again.